What are you Googling? How to...
You have to treat the ECU, although it's very smart and very powerful, you gotta treat it like it's Stuart, alright? We're one big happy family. Dana's on the dash.
It's a great dash. That was sick!
Get in the driver's seat and buckle up.
Well, you failed at that. Couldn't even do step one.
I don't have a buckle.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Right. Click.
Yep.
What's step 2? Insert the key. Key's in.
Already done. You did it in the wrong order.
Fuck.
Start again.
Put the gear stick in park.
Yeah, I think we're good.
That'll do. Twist the ignition key to start the car.
Turn that shit. Seems there's a problem, sir. Do you know how to start a car?
Usually I start them with the dipstick.
What's step? Can you give me 3 steps? Like, how would you start a car in 3 steps?
Find the keys to it. Unlock the door.
Okay.
Place the key in the ignition and turn it to the right.
You missed the first step. What's the first
Buckle
step?
up!
Buckle up.
You obviously didn't read the fucking wiki how for it.
The wiki who for it?
We are inside Mitchell's RB26 30 S14 8 HP automatic sequential gearbox, red, Nexus R5. Last episode on this car, you watched me wire it for the most part, and now there's still a few things on the car that are going to hinder me from starting it right now. Maybe by the end of the episode that stuff will be done too, but as of this very moment, there's no gearbox oil, there's no gearbox cooler lines, so those sort of things have to happen before I can actually start it. But everything, or 99% of the electrical things that I require to be able to start the car are done. So I'm going to basically go through the ECU now and set it all up so that the ECU knows what car it's in, what it's attached to, what sensors it's plugged into, what engine it's controlling, what injectors it's controlling, what coils it's controlling, all that sort of stuff. We're going to also get all of that information displayed on our dash, and then from there we will move on to the transmission control unit, which I'm going to have to learn. So I will learn it and then I will show you, or maybe I'll show you as I learn it. Speak of the devil.
What do you see?
I see cow.
Should I show the people?
Anonymous offender number 1. You got to cut that out. So yeah, pretty much first things I'm going to do, this ECU, even though it's brand new from Haltech, they do have a lot of firmware updates. They're constantly upgrading their firmware, software, everything like that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up NSP, and I'm going to, before I do anything at all, I'm going to upgrade our ECU. Not upgrade, update. Update. I meant to say update, not upgrade. You can't upgrade it anymore. It's the R5. It's as good as it goes. So we're going to open up NSP. We are going to let it connect to the ECU. And so the cool thing about the Nexus is I don't actually have to have the car on or the battery hooked up to be able to talk to the ECU. So it takes a power supply from your laptop and turns the ECU on itself. So I can do the entire setup on this ECU without it actually being powered onto the car. So it's neither here nor there really, but it just means I don't have to have the car turned on and power running through everything before I've got the ECU set up. Because a lot of times if you turn an ECU on, a lot of the inputs and outputs are already assigned, and if they're assigned differently to how you've wired it and you turn the key on for the first time, if somehow you fucked it up really bad, you might have a 12 volt output going to something that's not meant to have 12 volts or something, you know what I mean, something like that. So basically this means I can have it all set up exactly how I've wired it before I actually power anything. So, back to this. We're going to do a firmware upgrade. So we can see here, they call it upgrade. Maybe that's why I said upgrade. Are you even looking at the right thing? Yeah, you are. Firmware upgrade. Click on that. Something to note. I mean, again, nobody really cares because the chances that somebody's actually doing this are slim. But if you're upgrading or updating the firmware in your ECU, Haltech recommends that you unplug your coils. There can just be some funny stuff going on while the ECU boots and reboots and boots and reboots and does stuff that it can overheat the coils or something like that. Basically, just unplug your coils if you're updating the firmware on your ECU. Mine are still unplugged, so we're just going to upgrade this. Once this is updated, we'll get back. Doesn't take long, but there's no point in you just staying here the whole time.
Right back.
We'll be right back.
Is it done?
It's done. Now it stopped flashing green at me, which means, hey, I'm done. We've got 98 errors, so that's a good start. And we have 28 warnings, so when we're done, we should have 0.
You want to... Are you sure you want to commit to that? 0?
Nah, there'll be a couple still.
That's what I was going to say, there's always a couple.
There's always a couple. Honestly, the best way that you can do this if you don't know anything about it, if it's your first time, it's very daunting because there's a lot to do, but basically start at the top and then just work your way down. So this is your navigation tree over here. Start at the top, vehicle information, work your way down until you get to the very bottom. If you do everything in this list, then you'll be right, basically.
Is there any coding involved?
No.
That's good.
You're too much of a nerd. There is coding.
Oh no.
I type Mitchell.
Type it.
My computer's frozen.
Well, that's a bad start.
Vehicle description, we shall call it. So it's RB26 38 8HP 70, and then we'll call it S14 for fun. So that's all it really needs. Basically, you're just naming the ECUs. Just from like helping a few people set their ECUs up that they generally don't think about is this ECU is completely, entirely, 150% universal. A lot of the ECUs that you get are going to be. So you can't just plug everything in and then expect to turn the key and away it'll go, because it's got no fucking idea what it's in. You could be in a boat for all it knows, you know what I mean? Like, so you have to treat the ECU, although it's very smart and very powerful, you gotta treat it like it's Stuart, all right? So you have to tell the ECU absolutely everything there is to know about what you want it to do, essentially, okay? So, like I said before, we start at the top of our list. We go into an engine configuration, and all you have to do is you have to just go through all this information and make sure that it says everything that it should say. So we'll start at the top. Engine capacity. This is not a 5-litre RB. I wish it was. That would be fucking cool. It is a 3-litre. We're going to put 2,998 cc, which is cubic centimetres, so 1,000 cc per litre. It's an RB30. It's a 3-litre. I could put 3,000 there. Doesn't really matter. I'm putting 2,998. Number of cylinders, it's a 6-cylinder. Compression ratio is neither here nor there. Aspiration, turbocharger. So in our application, this is a turbocharged engine. You can naturally aspirate it or turbocharged or supercharger. Max crank RPM, we don't care about that. This stuff over here is our cylinder firing order. So the firing order of our engine. I think we are what's our firing order? 153624? Are we 153624? 153624. Yeah. Why is this still angry at me?
What did you say?
I said, why is this still angry at me? 153624. There we go. It's no longer angry at me. It was just a little bit slow. Pretty much, it's just going to be me going through all of these lists, going down here. So trigger system is the way that the engine knows where the crank and the cam are during the engine cycle. So in old school cars that have distributors, then they went to cam angle sensors. Now we have cam angle sensors and crank sensors. In our case, we would have had a CAS, which is a cam angle sensor essentially. We have gone to a trigger kit, a PRP trigger kit, which means we have a crank angle sensor and we have a cam angle sensor. So all we have to do is basically go in here. If you put a PRP kit on your car, they come with instructions. You follow those PRP instructions. I do believe they actually have Haltech specific instructions, which makes it easy. I said instructions a lot. But it is basically a generic multi-tooth, single tooth home is what our trigger type is. So that means we have a multi-tooth tone wheel on the crank and we have a single tooth on the cam. So then it's going to come down here. It's going to ask us how many teeth are on the crank. How many teeth are on the crank? We have 12 teeth on our tone wheel. And this is what I mean by they're very smart, but they're very stupid. You have to tell them absolutely everything. And if you don't tell them everything perfectly right, it won't work. So this is all the stuff that people sort of forget about when they put an ECU in and they try to start it for the first time. They're like, yeah, it's all wired, let's go start it. It won't work. It won't work. Trigger signal on crank. Then we come down and our home signal, Hall effect, falling edge. All of that's all as it should be. Basically, we just go down and we do that for every single system. the whole reason you're out here is because we're about to turn it on for the first time. Just the power, not the car.
I know.
So we go one more click and everything should turn on. Which we have a bunch of lights. We have a dash.
You didn't even take the sticker off, you savage.
I'm not. What do you mean? I'm not taking the sticker off.
Why not?
That's not my right. That's not my dash.
But now...
No.
Look.
Only the owner of that dash gets to remove that sticker.
The viewers want to see that. That's
yeah, but that's too bad. I'm not taking it off. It's not my dash to remove the protective label
but now
from.
Look how terrible it looks when we're filming. We can just see...
That's too damn bad. You can barely see it. Anyway, what do I need to do here? I need to stop this from vlogging. I
can't believe
for
that.
one. So we got some numbers on here. That's exciting. We're at 85% throttle position. That's cool. We're 120 degrees temp, 120 intake, and that's because those sensors aren't plugged in. So that's fine. The main reason I wanted this to actually power on is so that we can go into calibration to actually see this work. So we're going to do our drive-by-wire throttle calibration. So first things we do is calibrate our pedal. So we calibrate at 0% TPS, then we go flat bickies. We calibrate it again, and it says calibration good. Very good, great start. And now we will try and calibrate our actual throttle body, which is the sometimes less fun part. But it's working. Did you hear that? You probably didn't.
Yes, I heard it.
It's not very often it works first try. Verifying. Ooh. Hey, yeah, boy. Nice. And then we should have a bunch of cables. Nice. You know what that is? That's the sound of being on the way to one done.
Means you did your job.
It does. So this is our TPS sitting at 1%. That's because of some idle values and stuff we'll have in here. That's why it's not sitting at 0. But then if we put our foot to the floor, nearly 100. Very good. Back it off. So sick. That's working. That's good. Normally you do you'd assign the wire and do the calibration as you go. But I wanted to get all of the wire stuff in and then turn the car on, just because it's easier to see. Once you put a calibration in, it makes more sense when you can read the number on the screen. So if you put a calibration in and you think it should be all good, but it still says your coolant temp is 60 degrees and the car's not running and nothing, you know what I mean? Like, that number doesn't make sense, so you know that there's still an issue. It's just easier when you're getting real-time feedback from the ECU. So that's why I did all my wires signing first, and now I'll go back through and I'll do some calibrations so that I'll make all these numbers here make logical sense for what the car's doing right now. So obviously we aren't at 120 degree coolant temp and we aren't at 120 degree air temp. Otherwise we'd all be dead on fire. So we'll go through, do all that stuff. Once that's done, the ECU side of things is pretty much ready to start the car.
You know how on the dash we put the SRS logo?
Yeah.
Is that just like a PNG?
Yes.
Or what sort of file?
You can put whatever you want there.
Is there a size
Yes.
limit? What's the size dimensions?
It is...
Can you send them to me?
Yes.
Okay.
So
if you want to prank your friend.
Yeah, IC7s are technically programmable. They technically have a programmable background, but it's basically like a backdoor. So since the update, you can't do it anymore, but with it, no, because I haven't updated this dash, we can still do it. So prior to the update, if you've still got an old dash, you can change some of the logos and stuff, but you have to do it a backdoor way. So basically you go into the dash files, just like without actually opening the dash software, you open it like it's a USB, and you have to pull out from their picture folder, you pull out the file and you put your file in there under the exact same name. So you have to have, basically you have to have this image, and then you put that image in it, and then you import that whole image.
Oh, so I need that image?
You need this, and then this is on top of that.
Okay, so where do I get that image?
I have it.
I'll just let the viewers see the beautiful dash.
It's a good dash.
I still don't like the stickers on there.
Yeah, I don't really want to peel it off though.
Well,
I'm not ready to peel it off yet. I will. I'm not ready to peel it off though.
Anyway, give me an update.
So the update is, I spent most of this morning getting the TurboLamik integrated with the Haltech. So the TurboLamik is the transmission control unit. So I was on the phone with Charles from Trackspeed, and he got...
Trackspeed? Track Industries.
Track Speed? What did I say?
You
Track
said
Speed. Track Industries. I was on the phone to Charles from Track Industries, and he got me pointed in the right direction for some of the setup stuff to get the TurboLamik to talk to the Haltech. So we were getting information one way, and then I've had a bit more of a play around, and I've got information going back the other way now. So I've got everybody is talking to everybody, which is really good. There's a couple little things I still have to button up and figure out, but we have got our little LCD screen here is showing that we're in park. We're on program 1, and we are 20-degree oil temp, which is a goddamn lie because there's no oil in it. But I've also got that information being relayed to the Haltech. So if I was to, I don't have it on me. If I have my laptop, I could show you all of that information in the Haltech as well. So all of that information is being distributed where it needs to, which is really good. And pretty much now, the rest of the setup that I have to do requires the car to be able to be started. So there's a couple little things I have to finish off before I can actually start the car. But that's a big progress basically. So we've got information going both ways, which is really good. That was one of the main concerns that I had, was actually getting them to talk to each other. So Haltech is one of the supported ECUs, but Haltech is somewhat renowned for having their CAN protocol is like a little bit secret squirrel. So somebody has to like basically go in there and figure it out. They won't just tell you it, kind of thing. But obviously somebody did. Somebody went in there and did the hard yards for me, which is really nice. Thanks to whoever that was somewhere along the way, because I don't know if anybody's ever looked at CAN protocols, but it doesn't make any sense. It's like, I don't even know how to explain that it doesn't make sense. It's just lots of numbers, and the numbers mean something.
You told me there wasn't any code.
There is lots of code. I could show you the code. I'll show you the code later. Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't make sense, but it works, and that's all that matters. I've got the TurboLamik ECU working, talking to the Haltech. Haltech's talking to the TurboLamik. We're one big happy family. Dana's on the dash.
It's a great dash. If I had any animating skills, I'd do like an animation of Dane's reaction, because
you didn't film it
to capture it. What do you reckon, Sam?
This is a full synthetic oil, so this does not come from a fossil. A handle would be nice.
Someone is going to impale themselves one day.
It's me.
I don't think your contraption's doing too well.
My contraption's not the best. Oh shit.
Don't get that everywhere. I think you're going to need someone else's help.
New idea.
Wow. That was a big brain play right there.
I like that.
What have you done?
What have I done?
What have you done?
You didn't like my last one.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I want to walk you through this one. You didn't like it.
This one looks fancy.
It's not fancy at all. It's way less fancy. Just got to clean me hose out. Hang on there. You wait till I mount it, then everyone will be jealous. We get a spanner.
I bet there's not a single viewer that clicked on this video.
Thought they were going to watch this.
Thought they were going to see a contraption like this built.
Well, here they are.
What is this contraption, Sam?
This contraption is the fix to my last contraption, because it didn't work.
Wait, your last contraption's still here though?
Yeah, well, this is part of the same contraption.
This is, what do they call it? Like Mark 1.
Modern art.
Right?
Yeah, Mark 1, yeah.
So this is
Yeah.
Mark 1 of... what would you pattern this as? What's it called?
Gearbox filling station.
Okay. I think you need to work on the name.
That's a great name. Where's my Dash 6 spanner?
Do you think Mark 2 is going to be the final version?
This is going to spill when I do that. Yeah, this is going to work great for sure. Yeah. This is going to be the answer to all our problems.
All our problems?
Every single one.
So we're actually combining Mark 1 with Mark 2.
Yeah, it's more of an adaptation than a rework, you know?
An amendment.
I need some longer hoses to make it really great, but...
Do you want to talk me through the contraption?
Will work? No, I'm still building it.
Patent pending.
Patent pending, yeah.
You don't want to give away all the
secrets. All right, here we go. Now...
Wow, just wait. I need the... Yeah.
And, wait, Andy, come out with this.
Oh, so you need an Andy? Is that part of it?
Well, yeah, because I don't have long enough hoses yet, but I will get long hoses.
It's a two-man contraption.
I need you to hold the bucket in the...
Put that in there.
Yeah, put that in there.
Oh, that's why you want the long.
And keep it till, yeah, because then this will all be mounted one day, and I'll have long hoses, and I'll just hook them up. And I also won't use a rattle gun on a socket, but there it goes. Hear that? It's going in. Probably going to spill on my head when it comes out the top. Oh no, it shouldn't. It should fit all of this.
Like a clear hose for the future.
That would be cool, wouldn't it? Cool. Yeah, right. I'll get some clear hoses. This is way better.
Is there like?
Is it getting lighter?
Speed. All the way.
About there is where we stop because the rattle gun stops. We could fill 8 gearboxes. There it is. We're done. How much easier was that? Is that 7? Well, that's 6.
2.5.
So that's 6.5. You reckon you get 7 in it before it came out the breather?
What, there you go.
Well, we'll stop there.
We'll stop that.
The gearbox is full of oil.
That was good. Is that the breather on the side of the box? Or
It's up the top of the box.
Oh, so it's running down.
Running down the box. Well, that's, how many did we get in? 7?
It's like probably 500 mil left in there.
Yeah, so 7 and a bit.
Yeah, 7.5.
So you're pretty close, Charles?
I'd say with it blowing out like that, I'd say 7 probably would have been pretty bang on.
Yeah, look. Well, he said you get about 7 in it and it'll piss out the top.
So I think it's probably pretty close.
So we're pretty much bang on. Pull that off if you want. Dylan's been waiting this whole time. He wanted me to pull the sticker off when I said
satisfaction.
no. Oh yeah.
Oh,
It's good, isn't it?
chest.
Says chess on it too.
Chest.
Chess and checkers, mate. Chess and checkers.
Chess. We're priming.
We're priming. Sounded like an RB.
This is Sam.
This is Dammy.
This is Dammy. And this is his startup on a nice new car we built. This is Dammy's new car we built.
Yep, Dammy car.
This Dammy car.
Dammy
Dammy car about to run.
Dammy car not gonna run.
Dammy car run.
Dammy car not gonna run right now.
We're just going to crank over and get a little bit of...
Yeah, it won't start just for it's not touchscreen, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Lenovo.
Yeah, copy.
Lenovo touchscreen.
No.
You can push the button, so it's hold to start, and then it'll push to turn off. Yeah. 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 Yeah, turn her off.
That's tough.
Fucking earth.
That's ridiculous. It's quiet. Joanne! Look at me! Look at me! I did nothing to this end of everything.
That was all me.
That was sick. Fuck it.
That was easy, wasn't it?
That's half too.
That starter had a fucking ease to it, didn't it? Didn't sound like it didn't want to pull out. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. That's sick, though.
Yeah, fucking sick.
That was killer. I can't believe they did that.
Any thoughts?
That was the easy part.
Yeah, I mean, what else?
That was the easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Number 4. Yeah, number 4. It'll sound better when it's on 6.
Yeah, it'll be more candy on.
Cylinder 4 needs a bit of fucking something.
That's right, man. Oh, what good day, John? What's that sound like out here? Fucking.
Sounds sick, mate.
She's gonna fucking. That turbo's gonna come on.
Yeah, up the pause.
Works. It works. It works.
That sounds like it's gonna be fast feel at the back, doesn't it? Like,
Sounds good.
yeah, I think it sounds cool.
So we've started the car. It runs. Only had one little mishap.
It was the colours, wasn't
It was the colours. The colours got me. But anyway, that's been remedied. It was a 2-minute fix, so it's not an issue. But everything else is good. Engine starts. Oil pressure's great. We've got roughly 7 litres-ish in the gearbox at the moment. We'll have to top that up. But engine is started and sounds good. So we can move on from that, basically. From here, I need to put the coolant temp sensor in because the adapter that we've got is too shallow for the coolant temp sensor is bottoming out before it's in. So I need to do that before we can run this any longer because our coolant temp corrections are just going spastic because it thinks it's minus 10 degrees and it's actually like 40 degrees. So it's just dumping fuel. But that was a ramble. What Dylan actually asked me to tell you was the only thing that I hadn't that I wasn't 100% sure on as to whether or not it was working for me was this shifter. So basically, I couldn't see anything that was telling me that the shifter was working. But I've just found another screen in the Tuner Pro software here. So basically, this button, this gauge here is our upshift. So basically, if I pull the shifter, that goes to 1. And then if we push the shifter, that goes to 1 there. So it's 0 and 1, 0 being off, 1 being on. So it basically just counts on and off. And then it interprets that information within the ECU. But basically what that tells me is that this shifter, when I do that, is talking to the ECU and the ECU is seeing that. So that's a really good sign. Basically from here, we're just going to get it started and coolant and get it up to temp and all that sort of stuff. The only thing that's kind of stopping me from running the car and putting it into gear and going through the gears is we don't have the tail shaft in here at the moment, which means I won't be able to slow the gearbox down. So if I go into 3rd gear and then downshift to get back to neutral and then like goes into park or something, you can potentially damage the box. So it's kind of, if you do the wrong thing and then you accidentally put the box in park, you can damage some stuff. So before we do anything like that, we're just going to wait until we got the tail shaft and the brakes and all that sort of stuff are working properly so that I can actually slow the wheels down using the brakes. Otherwise we risk damaging some stuff, but everything else is pretty sweet. Everything else seems to be talking, so I think probably step 1 from where this shit is, can you see what I've got going on here?
It's
we got cords and screens and dials and keypads, so probably step 1,
clean up the mess.
you clean up the mess and make this an interior, basically. So I'm going to mount the keypad, mount the LCD, mount the program switch, get this so that it's actually, you get in, you turn the key on and everything's where it should be, not you grab this cord and that cord and this and start. I'll put the stickers on the keypad so that you don't have to guess which one it is and all that sort of stuff. So we know it works, we know it's functional, we know that I'm not going to have to tear this interior back apart, which means I'll put it together for the first time now rather than put it in, put it out, put it in, you know? Fuck yeah. I lied, step 1 was make the gearbox work. I told Dylan step 1 before was to tidy up the interior. I lied, step 1 is make the gearbox work. That's sick. So I go straight to 2nd. When you pull it once, it goes to 2nd. And then I went back down to 1st and then back to neutral. Cool. Alright, now I'll actually tidy up the interior.
And then put it
For reals this time. Where's my screen? There.
Final time.
Final time. We'll start by taking this little square off. We're approaching the correct. A little bit more. That's in there, but slightly too much of a press. Oh! Ooh, that's nice.
Kind of sick.
It's good, isn't it? That boy never came back. There we go. Let me get the knob.
Very good. Wow.
just freehand drilled and tapped these in the vise, and they're perfectly centered, and I did it all freehand, and I didn't go and see the machinist up the back and get him to do it for me. Did it all on my own.
You're very
Right
talented.
there in that vise.
You're a talented
They're
boy.
dead square.
This vice right here.
It was that vise right there. The cops are at the back looking for you too.
Who?
The cops?
Well,
Yeah.
what are they looking for?
2 of them looking for you.
What they ask?
I told them to get fucked.
Oh, thanks for having my back and my
They said,
front
have you seen any large...
Any large? Just that? That's all they said?
friendly man?
Any
I was
large?
thinking about how rude to be, if I'm being honest.
Well, be rude.
I'm not going
Do
to.
your thing.
Ah, no.
There's a few large around here, isn't there?
That's why I said nah.
Oh,
I said, can you-
funny man,
Can you narrow it down for me? And they said no. And I said, well, I can't help you, mate. Everybody around here is large except me and you. Kirsty. And Juddy.
Just massive.
Are you looking for my... I actually just went across and said, are you looking for my friend Dane? And they said no. And I said, all right. It's for 33D.
You did that by hand?
Yeah. And I drilled the hole dead straight by hand too. I'm pretty straight.
You're pretty straight?
Yeah.
I'm pretty
I like
straight.
handy. It's looking like we want to cut like 8 mil off, eh? Which is a problem because I only make grain to drill. I mean, I drilled the holes. Not that deep. Yeah, leave it alone.
Yeah, nice. Let's put it in.
It works.
Now get a cup.
Okay.
I need a bigger cup. Of course that's gonna fit.
That's perfect. What else do you want?
I suppose. Sponsored by.
It's about to be ready. Bob!
Holy.
But it also lights up the Zenki.
It does. Well, it's the whole plan.
He's done well. I haven't screwed this down yet because I may have to get it back out. I also have to put like the stereo surround thing in. But we got this mounted, we got our program switch mounted, and we have our LCD there for the TurboLamik. So that's all really cool. We can light it up again for you just because. Look at that. Oh yeah.
You're happy with that?
I like it a lot, yeah. So now I've got a couple of these buttons assigned. I just went through, obviously, I already had the stop start function assigned, which is top left here. I've now also got our exhaust cutout, which is our AES valve, assigned to this switch. So if I turn this back on and I press this button, you will hear, once the fuel pump stops, you'll hear our AES cutout pump in the back start going. It's quite noisy when the car's off, but when the car's on, you don't actually hear it. So that opens up our exhaust cutout. I could program that a couple different ways. I could make it just come on once you're like above 3,000 RPM or something like that. But for the time being, we're just going to have it on a button so that if you want to cruise around nice and quiet and stealthy like, you can do that, or you press the button, open it up, and it'll get loud and rowdy. But got that, and then also here we've got the, this is our power steering button. So that will turn on our electric power steering pump. And I've just got that assigned to come on when the key is on. So its startup position is on. So every time you turn the key on, the pump will turn on, and then if you want to turn the pump off, you just press the button again and the pump will be off. So I don't know if that's actually, yeah it is. We can put the very first button on here. I'm so shaky, God. You want to know something funny? I still haven't put the buttons on my own keypad.
Why not, Sam?
Because I'm an idiot. I got in there the other day to start it and I was like,
What are the buttons?
yeah, I was like, oh, they're all white. I need to put mine on there because it
Just a
does
safety
look
feature.
sick. Yeah, so nobody
can
else
see
knows
it,
how to
you
start it.
I don't
Exactly.
know what any of these buttons do.
This one is our exhaust cutout. So let's find something. What should we put on the exhaust cutout? Exhaust bypass probably makes sense, doesn't it? Power steer. Surely we got power steer. PS pump. That's us. Start, stop, exhaust bypass, power steering pump. I reckon we do boost. Anti-lag. Open your eyes.
3 to go.
We're running out here, brother. They're the main ones that we're going to actually use. So basically we've got start, stop, exhaust cutout, power steering pump, boost. This will control our boost maps. And then we got the anti-lag button on there because we're obviously going to want that. I'll leave these other 3 free for now because not entirely sure what I'm going to put on them. I may end up using all 3 for cruise control. We could theoretically put cruise control in here, so I may do that. We may put cruise control, or we may just put like a pit limiter or something like that on there. We don't know yet, but I'll leave them as it is for now. That pretty much buttons up the setup and first start of Mitchell's car. It's obviously starting, running, everything's working. We've got sensors everywhere. Our gearbox is working, which is super exciting. I'm so glad that actually works because it's been a bit of a thing to get my head around, but everything's working, everything's reading, so that's really good. Next episode, we're going to be getting a tail shaft into this thing, bleeding the brakes, putting the rest of the interior together, making it actually be a car, making it do the things that cars do, and then we'll be strapping it to the dyno and hopefully making some power with this thing. So actually, interesting point, we're basically going to strap it to the dyno. We're going to bed the engine in, we're going to bed the rings in, make sure that the engine is run in and the rings are nice and sealed in the bores. From there, we're going to take it back off the dyno and we are going to do some street driving because we need to get the adaptations for this gearbox done and sorted, and everything in the gearbox has to be calibrated before we put it on the dyno and start doing power runs. So we can put it on the dyno and just get some load on the engine, that's fine. Then we're going to take it back off, hit the private street and do some street driving, get the adaptations all done, and then back on the dyno and make some power. Yeah, that's it. That's it. If you're excited to see that, stay tuned, follow along, and we'll see you on the next episode.